Hello, I am YamXFan, and this is my submission to SGDQ 2019 of Super Monkey Ball Adventure Story Mode 100%. Oh, let's go ahead and get this run started. 3, 2, 1, go! So, the goal of 100% is to get 100 joy points in Jungle Island, Zootopia, Moonhaven, and Muckatropolis, which we get joy points by helping out monkeys along the way, and defeating naysayers, which we'll see those in a few minutes. So, starting out here in the village section of Jungle Island, we're going to be doing 4 missions in this area before we leave. The first of which is to knock over 5 monkeys wearing top hats to help find this guy's daughter. Now, if I hit them from the wrong position, or if I hit them too fast or too slowly, then they will not knock their hats off and I won't be able to see. And that requires hitting them again at the correct speed threshold to knock their hat off again, which that wastes time, so I'm going to avoid that. Especially going too fast. That makes it, like, that's an instant 10-second loss pretty much. So this second mission here, I'm going to be grabbing some bees and taking them back to their beekeeper here. They're just trying to build hives all over the village. And I'm going out of my way for these 2 banana bunches. Which, why would I do that? That's crazy. So, the reasoning for that is for 100%, I need 700 bananas throughout the run to give to charity with a monkey named Mac Mac. And that's kind of tight limitations. So I need to go out of my way a few times to make sure I get enough. One time in particular though, we'll be there in a few levels. So the third mission in this section is to deliver a message, which this is a type of mission that's going to come back very frequently on the run. They're usually pretty simple. And then the last mission here, we're going to be taking a picture, which the goals of those missions are pretty much to reach a certain spot to pose within 30 seconds, which is a very generous time limit, usually. And then after this level, this mission, I'm actually going to be doing possibly the hardest skip in this run, which is the rock jump. So I'm going to try to bounce off of a rock in such a way that it sends me flying over the rocks that are around it. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, there we go. First try, lovely. So what that does is now I'm going through Jungle Island backwards, which skips a few loading screens, which loading in this game takes around 15 seconds per screen, so that's huge. And then also, periodically, you're going to run into sections where you have to beat regular Monkey Ball stages from challenge mode to advance. And those take a lot of time, but we want to minimize the number of those we have to do. And doing that rock jump actually skips 6 of them right off the bat, which is a huge time save, so that jump saves a few minutes. Right now, I am learning Boxing Ball, which is our first chance. And what the chants are is, it's a main gameplay mechanic of Super Monkey Ball Adventure, no other Monkey Ball game at the moment, probably not ever. Which, basically, we just put in the chant and then we can do some ability, or we can work to one of the kingdoms when we get those. So that was Boxing Ball. I get to punch things now. They'll come up periodically throughout the run. And then we'll grab a few bananas here real quick, and then we're going to deliver this guy his lunch, which is, I guess, in this balloon. And then we're going to skip going around this island because that's slow. And conveniently, there's a cannon right here that allows us to do so just by aiming really far to the right. I don't know why they allowed this cannon to aim so far to the right, but it works, so we take it. Getting right up here to our next camera mission, second one on the run. So this one, the post spot's just on top of this lighthouse. We grab this banana. It's on the path, like literally. I wouldn't grab it. Put a few flowers there to go a bit faster. I'm gonna fall off of the lighthouse, right next to our first naysayer. The naysayers are pretty much just regular enemies. There are 4 types. This is technically the second one you're supposed to see. It's one you kill with Boxing Ball, which is just going to raise its arm to punch, and we just punch it. Very simple. Punches, then he raises his arms, and he's down. And after I hit him one more time, I'm going to jump off, grab that banana bunch under the bridge, and then just fall into the water. And that will warp me right next to our last mission for this area that we're going to be doing for now. So this mission, we are going to be delivering some eggs, or hatching some eggs I should say, and delivering the birds to their nest. Which all of it's just kind of flying over the water. The nest is that thing off to the side. See in a bit. I'll try to turn these kind of tight so I can grab the eggs quickly. Turning while you're flying is kind of strange and finicky to get used to. But there we go. I'm just going to try to land close to the loading zone, but not quite in it, so I can make sure I actually get the joy points. Looks like the birds cooperated very nicely, so I can land pretty close to the loading zone and be safe. Yeah. Alright. That's that area. And now we're going into the area right outside of the Monkey King's palace. We have a naysayer right here at the start. We can actually grab some bananas while we're waiting for him to be vulnerable. This is the first type of naysayer you're supposed to see. It just kind of spins and you can run into it and it dies. It's pretty weak. And these are actually 4 Monkey Ball stages. You're supposed to have to do 3 of these to advance, but we're not going to do those. They take a while. Now I'm just going to bounce in this flower, and then we're going off to our 3rd camera mission already. These things are all over the place in Jungle Island. This one, we're just going to kind of bounce on these flowers right over to this pose spot. It's nothing difficult. Get these bananas, because bananas are good. And then we're going to bounce over and help out the guard monkey, whose peers have fallen asleep at their posts. We're going to wake them up by hitting the gongs they ring whenever there's something going on. By launching ourselves in a cannon, of course, because how else would you get there? Now these gongs, they can just kind of bounce you off, which can potentially kill you. Wait, we may have to restart the whole mission. But if you land on the platform before you hit them, then you're not going to get a bounce 100% of the time. So, as long as I do that, I am perfectly safe. This last one's the riskiest, of course, because that's convenience. But, we're good. Now I'm going to go launch to the next mission here. It's pretty much a minute auto-scroller, so I'm just going to grab some bananas while I'm doing it. Basically, I need to protect the flowers here from getting destroyed by these birds. But, the birds are really slow at destroying the flowers, so I can pretty much just hang out for like 30 seconds if I want to. So I might as well get bananas while I'm doing it, because there are a billion bananas around this area. And then, when I'm finally up here, one flower might die, that's fine. I only need to save one. We can maybe get this one. And then I'm gonna leave these flowers early. I will have protected them long enough, they're not gonna die. Got some more bananas, and I'm gonna head right next to the next loading zone. A bit longer, yeah, I'll go ahead and go now. Grab this banana right here. And this one. I'm just gonna go right up to the loading zone, a few more bananas. And I got plenty of time to stop right next to the loading zone. And there we go. So now we're inside the palace, and this is a bit of an interesting area. You're supposed to come here earlier and watch a cutscene, but we didn't do that, so that cutscene's gonna happen. And then we also have a mission here. And if you do the cutscene and the mission here without leaving, the game doesn't know what to do, so it's actually gonna softlock. However, we can avoid that softlock by doing something a bit strange. You're supposed to just narrow down the prince and princess here. I'm going to leave that guy in the middle, and I'm going to flatten him by going too fast. And the mission's not going to end until he gets up. So I can come over here while he's still down, and if I'm over here, the game just won't softlock. It's very strange. But now there's a chant guy here, and we can warp to Zootopia and Moonhaven, which is nice. I'm kind of tired of the scenery. Oof. So, off to Zootopia first. In the entrance area here, so the main plot of Zootopia is that Fat Cat has taken over, and everything's just kind of gone downhill since then. And the amusement park goers are pretty much trapped on the rides. And so our first mission here we're gonna be knocking some masks off of workers here who can't get the masks off because the zippers are stuck. This is pretty much just the top hat mission from earlier, but a lot easier because you're not gonna ever go too fast for these guys usually. I'm gonna kind of loop around this guy a little bit so I'm not in front of him. He'll dodge me if I'm going straight on. Last one's the trickiest, right here on the edge. No problem. Now we're just gonna go to the roller coaster. So the roller coaster itself starts at the front of the area, and it takes a bit more than a minute to do a complete loop. So I'm gonna try to do some stuff in about as much time as it takes for it to do a loop, to maximize my productivity while waiting for it. First, I'm gonna talk to the chant guy. Oh, I'm not gonna knock him down actually. We'll talk to him in a bit. Alright, so first, I'm going to be doing this mission, where I'm going to save these children who are stuck on balloons for some reason, and then hitting them like this saves them, I guess. Monkey rules. I'm gonna fall back down. I'll go ahead and talk to the chant guy now. We're gonna learn Sticky Ball here. Very useful chant, gonna come up all over the place throughout the round. And I still got time, I'll go ahead and use Sticky Ball here. So I didn't actually lose any time from knocking down the chant guy earlier because I still made it for the cycle. And the roller coaster still moves while you're talking to people. So for this mission, I just need to follow the train pretty much. Train, a roller coaster. And when I'm close enough, you'll see they're wobbling, and then they'll fly off eventually. Trust me, the monkeys are perfectly safe. Absolutely saving them. And then once I'm done with this mission, I'm going to just kind of jump off, because it'll respawn me where I need to be next. Which is actually going to be our only spot of banana grinding for the whole run, outside just like going a little bit out of my way. So there are 6 monkey ball stages here. I'm going to enter 4 of them, but not actually beat them. I'm just going to grab some bananas and leave. Just because there's a Mac in this area who needs 200 bananas, and we're not going to get nearly enough bananas without grinding here anyway, so it's just us to do here. We don't have to do these stages because they open a door into the final area of the Fat Cat building. Fat Cat, which is the Fat Cat building. And there's another door to the Fat Cat building that doesn't have anything blocking you from entering it anyway, so whatever. And we can just exit as soon as we have all the bananas we need. There's no, like, you can just press B to leave a level. Dang it, so cool. Lots of bananas in this stage. Around 30. Actually, exactly 30. That. And then more bunches here. Perfect. And now we're off to Eternal, which has 15 bananas we're gonna grab, although there are 15 others. Much less conveniently, though.
Ready, go!
I roll up here, and flip on by, try to grab that one and that one without plunging or anything. Very nice. And the last stage here is Checkmate, which, diagonal movement is a lot easier in this game than it is in Monkey Ball 1 and 2. A lot more lenient, so yeah, you can just kind of go across here willy-nilly and you should be fine. There are a few bananas here, so I want to make sure I get all of them I want. I did mention I do have like a specific banana route I follow. It has like 20-something extra bananas, but there are tons of backups right at the end anyway, so I'm good. And now we're gonna take on this guy's mission. Where's the guy? There he is. He was in a weird spot there. So, this mission, this guy doesn't think we're part of the Monkey Ball team. So we're gonna prove him wrong by racing this robotic ball that he has. I don't know why he has a robotic ball ready for this situation, but okay dude, that's good for you. You're just supposed to follow it around the track, but there are a few spots you can actually get around it and then just go faster than it. Such as right there. That spot's extraordinarily risky though. Right here though, we can just go across pretty easily and safely. And now we can just go as fast as we want. Saves a decent chunk of time for the rest of the track. The game only makes sure you're not too far behind him, so if you're ahead it doesn't care. And now we're gonna go ahead and drop off 200 bananas. Right here. And our last mission here is our last camera mission for this area. So the Sissy's right up here, that's the photographer. And the camera most definitely cannot see the posing spot, but we'll ignore that. We're just going to fly over to one of the platforms out in the water to get our picture taken. I'm going to try to take a bit of a wide loop here, because then I will land on top of the platform. Oh, that was really good. So because I'm on the platform, I can actually just stand in a corner and warp to Moonhaven. Which, if I roll off the thing there while he's chanting, it's a bit of an issue, but there's consistent ways to avoid it. And if I had fallen off the platform there, it wouldn't have been major. I would have lost around 5 seconds, so nothing too spooky there. So going into Moonhaven. Moonhaven might be the trickiest kingdom overall, I'd say. There's a lot of tricky stuff throughout it. But we're going to start over here by doing some Monkey Ball stages. And we're actually going to beat them this time. Ooh, crazy.
Ready?
These are the beginning stages of Advanced. Grab bananas, of course, as we go through them. And we're actually not going to be doing anything behind what they open yet, but we're just going to activate a cutscene there and then leave, because the cutscene there is the trigger for a chant to appear here, Scalar Ball. So we need Scalar Ball for the rest of Moonhaven Utopia. Try to skip there. Unfortunately, I had a bad setup, so I fell.
Ready?
Oh good. A little bit of time lost, no big deal. And whenever you do this mission, there's a stage a second time after dying, and third time, fourth time, subsequent after that. For some reason, the cycle's a bit different, so it's actually easier. It's kind of funny. The camera and controls are a bit iffy here, which is part of the design of the stage, I suppose. Once you're used to it, though, it's really no big issue. And then our last stage within this set is Skid Slalom, which is Advanced 3. So this stage, the gimmick of it is these bars that move from side to side. They move based on what direction you're pointing on the control stick. So if I'm holding left or right, they will move that way, relative to the camera. I'm going to try and line them all up in this row so I can get these bananas without moving left or right. Very nicely set up there. And then these ones are a bit trickier. I'm fine missing some of these if I just don't die. I'm missing a lot of bananas. I did a bit slow there to make sure I got the last banana because I didn't want to miss too many there. So now I'm going to learn Scalar Ball. And that's going to help me kill a Naysayer in this area, our third type of Naysayer, which is one that is going to try to inhale you and then spit you out. But if it inhales you and then you use Scalar Ball, then it'll die. Which gives me joy points, so that's good. So we come up here, and I've got a couple more bananas before I use it, because moving while you have a chant active is actually slower than moving typically, except for a few chants. So we're just going to grow big here, and he's dead. And now we're off to the Air Automaton, which has 4 more missions for us, no naysayers. First, we're going to be taking a picture. So typically, you're supposed to aim this cannon all the way up, and it'll launch you into a pipe. You roll down, then you have to ride up a gear to get this picture taken. But if we just aim the cannon all the way up, and then just aim a little bit down from there, we'll land right where the picture's supposed to be. So I just adjust a little bit, and we're down here now. Very convenient. Oop. And I'm going to grab the 15 bananas around this bowl here, because they're really fast. And then our next mission... camera's being really weird. Camera was just weird enough I didn't have enough speed. Shame. Our next mission, we're going to try to land right next to this guy. He's pretty much the main mission of the Air Automaton. We're going to hit these 3 buttons that are going to readjust some types and stuff here. Grab these bananas, of course, because they're fast. So the 3rd button's actually the only one you need to hit. You can actually just jump straight to the 3rd button and skip going around these things. But for one thing, you miss a lot of bananas in 100%, and for another thing, it's one of the hardest things in this game that I've found, so... not really worth going for in an hour-long run at the moment. This mission, we need to patch up the bowl up there. Ooh, made that nice. Sticky ball lets you either carry things like this or stick to ceilings or walls, which is actually one of the most abusable mechanics of the game. We'll be seeing that in a bit. We just need to patch up these 4 things, and the mission's done. Oh, didn't get a good camera there, so I couldn't go straight down. And our last mission for this area is saving more children, because no one cares about children's safety in this world, I guess. The children managed to get themselves caught in some pipes. I cannot explain how they did this, but to get them out, we just have to bounce on these 4 trampoline things a bunch of times. For some reason, the one on the far left takes 1 less hit than the others, so I'm just going to hit that one last on my first cycle so that matches the same number. And when I'm going for the final hits, I'm going to try to get a double hit so that I save a bounce. We'll see if I can get it. Didn't get it there. It's pretty finicky. Ah, barely missed on that one. Alright, so we're done with the air automaton now forever. Let's go to the fire automaton, which is one of the hardest areas of the game. So, for one thing, for the first 2 missions we're going to be doing here, we're going to be running on a 20-second cycle. So, everything I do matters. But also, there's only one thing, as long as I pretty much just play decently and I get one thing in this second mission I'm going to do here, I should make the cycle. So we're going to start by running Wood Ball, which lets us float on water and catch on fire. It's useful surprisingly often. Grab some bananas while we're flying, and I'm going to land up here. Oh, bounce off that for good luck. I'm going to fall down right here to our first mission. This guy wants his toolbox from the top of the fire automaton area. We can just kind of use these wing rings to get straight up to the top, no issues whatsoever. I should mention, the naysayers in this area do not give any joy points for some reason. I guess I just forgot to assign a value or something. But we're just not going to deal with them, so we'll fight one because it's just in the way, but the other one we're just going to let live. Okay, so this mission here is where the kind of tricky part is. So first of all, we're not going to kill this naysayer. This is a fire naysayer, it's going to shoot fire at us. I'm going to grab this banana bunch real quick because I have to wait for it to stop shooting fire anyway. But, I'm going to make him face a bit this way so I can bump into him and then just go around. No reason to deal with a second hit on him. He doesn't like giving us joy point. I'm not going to bother. So, when it comes to dealing with fire, you need to make sure your fire gets relit periodically, because otherwise your fire is going to run out after a certain amount of time. I'm going to make sure I stop near each of these torches long enough it gets refreshed. But here's the tricky part. I need to light this torch, and I'm going to try to kill this naysayer, and then immediately use a wood ball fast enough I make the cycle of platforms. And it looks like this should be good. Yeah, we're good. We made the cycle. We should make the 20-second cycle now too. It's surprisingly lenient when you're using like wood ball there for some reason. It's actually harder when you don't have a chant. I really can't explain why. The last few jumps here, and then we're going to be up to the mission where the cycle is. So the cycle is a spinning torch going around a bowl. We need to use that torch as a platform. That's a really good reason for it for now. I'm going to wait a little bit actually because I was early. I'm going to go ahead and go. Roll up over here. Avoid that water because it'll put out my fire. I need to roll around the water and then bounce off of the torch so I make it to the other side with my fire. And we got it. No problem. And then that's it for that mission. That's actually like the, I guess technically the quote-unquote ending of the fire automaton. But it's 8 joy points, so very important to do. This is Captain Simeon. He wants 5 balloons so he can fly to Congo. And they're just kind of 5 balloons scattered around this area. We need to fly close enough that Baby will grab them. And I also just got that banana bunch. A bit tricky. Definitely not supposed to get them like this, but this is faster. Using the wing ring to fly around and get these balloons was first thought of and done by Fleet Boy 123. Shout out to him for doing this. This saves a lot of time. gonna fly around for one more of these balloons, and I'm just gonna kind of run around for the rest because it's less worth it. Actually, slower. I'm gonna fly in a specific way here so I can grab the balloon and 10 more bananas from bunches. So it's that, and I'm just gonna roll over, and then after I get the last balloon to him, I'm going to go back into flight, and the mission's not going to end until I land, or at least drop my flight status. So I'm going to try to fly over to the next mission and let go of it as I'm over the platform. And that'll save travel time from getting to the other mission otherwise. So here we go in just a bit. Gonna hand it off to Captain Simeon, and then take flight. I'll fly in a particular way, but I am right over this platform. That looks good. Cool. Make this platform cycle, delivering this message to the guy who had the mission involving the 20-second cycle. And he's actually moved to a different location, but balloons work in that the top of the balloon has to be close enough to the thing you're delivering it to. So he's actually above us, so if I just stand on this ledge and wait for the balloon to get high enough, it's just going to go straight to him. Very nice. That's the fire automaton. Now we're going to warp back to Zootopia for our second little excursion there. So we're not going to do anything in the entrance for now. We're actually going to be doing the rest of the entrance area on our third trip here, because there's actually some stuff we can't do in Zootopia till after Monketropolis, unfortunately. So we're going to be going straight into the maze area. And this area has a lot of kinda long missions. Also a lot of really short missions though. So I should mention, the entire routing of this category is entirely based on what missions are faster with Hoverball, which is a chant you get in Congrilla, which is part of Monketropolis. So we're actually not going to do much of the maze while we're here this time. I should also mention that we only actually need to get 40 joy points in Zootopia rather than 60, and then we're going to do the final mission, which is 20 joy points, and that'll push us over the boundary of 60. Which 60 joy points are needed in both Zootopia and Moonhaven to reach Monketropolis. So this is our camera mission for this area. Gotta go along these tight ropes a bit carefully. And then we're gonna do one more mission here and kill a Naysayer. And not even the Naysayers are gonna give us joy points, because there are two more we're gonna deal with later. They're just too far out of the way for now. We have enough joy points anyway. So here we're going to just kind of punch these bumper cars out of the way. They are not cooperating whatsoever right now. Oh man, I know I'm boundary. Flying on the edge doesn't actually count, unfortunately. It's kind of frustrating if you're like, oh, where's the last bumper car? And you're like, oh, dude, there's one right there. These are completely random though, so it really sucks. And then we have another Naysayer we're going to be using Boxing Ball on right here. And then it's off to Fat Cat, which has the biggest skip in the game. And there are a few ways we can do it, but this way is the fastest known, and also we don't need Hoverball for it. So it's actually faster to do Fat Cat early and save other stuff for when we have Hoverball. Because this maze area is very broken with Hoverball. Just spoiler alert, you'll see that much later in the run. Alright, so here we go, off to the Fat Cat building. So while we're in here, this area is going to be operating on 14-second cycles. For marathon safety, I'm not going to be worrying too much about that, but I'm still going to try to make the fastest cycle I can, usually. So first of all, we have some Naysayers at the bottom we want to deal with. This one right here, which was part of the old setup of this skip before I found a new one that is both easier and faster, and not completely inconsistent like this was. So we're just gonna punch this guy first, because make up for all the resentment I have for him from the years and years of running torment from this guy. That being said, I've been running this for a few years. Alright, so this is where we're going to be abusing Sticky Ball to its fullest. So Sticky Ball, basically when you're climbing up walls or ceilings, the game will change your gravity. And if you fall off of a ledge or ceiling without unactivating Sticky Ball or going onto a different wall or something, then the game will just kind of let you fall for a little bit in that direction before it realizes what it's done. I can just kind of jump over there, and then right there, that's what we didn't have before. You can just run through that gate like that, because that part of the fence is not solid from that direction. That skips the 60 joy point requirement, and then one more sticky wall is here. Now I'm at the top of the Fat Cat building. It's actually pretty fast climbing. Looks like I'm going to make the first cycle at this point. Yep. Alright, so we have 4 Monkey Ball stages here, starting with Loop It. This stage, I'm going to play a bit safe, because it doesn't really lose a cycle if I play it safe. Because the cycle is that spinning part of the platform there, which it still moves while you're inside of these stages, so you gotta keep that in mind. And you can get between these stages without using Sticky Ball, but there are 20 bananas that are much, much harder to get without doing that, so we just get the bananas 100%. Any percent we go ahead and go around, but not for 100%. This is Plug Hole. It's like a couple stages from Monkey Ball 1, but easier. Just fall down right there. Monkey Ball 1 you have to aim a little bit. This game is just like, oh boy, it's gonna... Alright, so now we're gonna go to ZZ Stop, the third of these stages. This stage is actually really short because there's an intended shortcut. We can just kind of jump from the start of the stage to the end. I don't mind if they put that there. This stage is kind of boring otherwise. I'm just gonna kind of go over to this corner, and we made it! Yay! That was totally risky. Not intended whatsoever. And the last stage here is Breadbasket, which is by far the strangest stage in this set. We're just gonna need to climb out to the outside of this little hub, and then have enough speed to get around. There is a faster way to do this stage, but for marathon safety I wouldn't really do it. It does save a cycle, but not really. So, for now we're no speed, just kind of land over here just fine, and here's our goal. So I shouldn't have to wait too long for a cycle here, and then I'm going to wait for an elevator to fall anyway. To take us up to the top of the Fat Cat building. And there's my ride. And here we go. We're going to go right to the top of the Fat Cat building early. So, up here we're going to have the final mission of Zootopia, which like I said is worth 20 joy points, which is a ton. Actually the mission worth the most in the game. Second most is 15, I believe. There's a couple missions in Monketropolis that they put after you did the 80% requirement that you were forced to do. Alright, so for this mission, first thing you need to watch a cutscene, which by watching and skip, of course, you can skip cutscenes in this game because it's a good game. And the game's going to lag a bit here, because it always does. And then this mission here, we need to punch all of these things that are along the wall to the opposite position of what they're at. And then there's a little light puzzle in the middle that can be found in all kinds of types of games with different solutions depending on the puzzle. So, we unfortunately have to rechance every time we go up one of these ramps because you can't roll up the ramps with Boxing Ball on. You go too slowly and Boxing Ball kind of pushes against the wall and makes you fall. Did that hit? Yeah, there we go. One more. And then off to the middle we've got to hit this one, and the one across from it, then the one in the top left, and the bottom right, and the middle, and we're done. And now we're done with our second trip to Zootopia, going off to Moonhaven again now. I don't know if I said this earlier, we do have to get 60 joy points in both Zootopia and Moonhaven to get to Monketropolis, so that's pretty important. Now, for Moonhaven here, we're going to be doing all of the first area except for one mission right now. Starting with a mission where we have to hit 4 sets of 3 switches within 15 seconds per set. So first I'm going to be going up this ramp to the left here to hit this switch. And then this one right here. These ramps are a bit finicky, so it's very nice when they cooperate. I'm going to drop down right here to this second set. I'm going to kind of go down this ramp. We're probably supposed to go up it, but I don't play by the rules. We're going to kind of zoom right across here. The third set's inside of this bowl. First one, second one's up here, third one's right on the other side. And the fourth one's going to be around the gear in the middle here. We're just gonna kind of turn it a little bit. First one's right up here. We can ride up to the top and get the second and third ones. And then we'll be falling down to do our last mission to get up to 60 joy points. You may notice we completely skipped the water automaton. That's going to be entirely when we have Hover Ball to break everything. Oh, this is a litter mission. First one, actually, I believe. We basically just have to use Sticky Ball to pick stuff up and bring it to a thing that sucks up litter. In this case, banana peels. I don't know how someone got their banana peel up here, but it's pretty impressive. And I'm pretty much just trying to make a cycle here of that spinning platform in the middle so I can speed across it and get up one of the ramps. Ooh, that'd be kind of tight now. Oh no, I don't think. Did pretty well, I guess. So, I'd have to go across this to have enough speed to make it up this ramp. There we go. Grab that banana, because why not? And there we go, 60 joy points. And our last mission in Moonhaven is what we're going to do right now. The technical ending of Moonhaven. We need to deliver some small monkeys to the switches because the big monkeys, or biggins as the game calls them, are tired. That's kind of the main overarching plot of Moonhaven. Biggins think they're superior to the little ones, small monkeys. The little ones don't really do much, but now the biggins are all tired. So the second... Oh, I'm actually going to do those later, because that's a really bad part of the cycle. Do this one first. Yeah, there are two that I'm going to fall down right there to get to, just like for the switches mission, because this is a better part of the cycle. And when these monkeys are on top of you, your controls are very screwed up. So you pretty much just have to have a quick reaction time if you want to do this fast without dying. It's pretty spooky. And the last one that can be kind of a risk here. There we go. Grab that banana, because why not? I'm a bit low anyway. Oh, don't fall off. Falling off here loses a lot of time. Do not want to do that. Also, I'm going to make sure I leave one of the things for bringing these monkeys to on the bottom for last. Because if I accidentally leave one at the top and I happen to fall before I get fall to the bottom area with a monkey, I can't get back up. Like at all. I'd have to jump off and restart the mission. Which that is about as bad as dying. So yeah, it's bad. And the second to last one's right there. And then the last one is also right by Rufus, the guy whose mission this is. And then we're actually going to go ahead and learn our way to warp to our final kingdom, Monkatropolis. Right here. Hey buddy. Alright, so now we have access to all 4 kingdoms, so here we go. Off to Monkatropolis we go. So the main plot of Monkatropolis is that Monkatropolis and Congrilla are rival kingdoms. We're going to be going to both. And no one knows why they're rivals, they just are. Been going back for so long. And the prince and princess of Monkatropolis and Congrilla respectively are in love. And Romeo and Juliet is pretty much the synopsis of this game's plot. We're trying to make the wedding happen. So this first mission here, so Monkatropolis thinks that the Congrillans are monsters because they wear masks when they're over here. And they wear masks because of the noise that they're making to scare them away. It's kind of a cycle like that. So we need to unclog these noise things to get the Monkatropolis people happy. Because the noise will be louder, it'll scare away the monsters more effectively. But of course we know the monsters are actually just Congrillans wearing masks. That can be pretty annoying. These things actually push you back a little bit when they go off, so you can just kind of be launched off your course for no reason sometimes. Alright, so now we got a picture mission. Last one before Congrilla, actually. We only actually have one more of these. So it's right here. You jump off this ledge, and bam. And now we're going to learn the most pointless chant in the game, Tetherball, which is used for exactly 2 missions. Including the one right next to it, of course. Oh. Tetherball lets you just kind of tether things to you, like a rope or something would, if you were to tie it to yourself. So first we're going to use that to collect prisoners who have escaped. First one's right there. red line means he's connected, obviously. And I'm going to bounce off this wall so I have enough speed to make it up this ramp to get back up to the prison fast. Because, unfortunately, while you have something tethered, you move extremely slowly. It's actually really annoying. Luckily, like I said, tetherball is only used in 2 missions in the game, so it's not something to deal with for that much. Second one's right there. He can escape really easily, so it's nice that he didn't. Yeah, this mission's pretty long and tedious, so a good time for donations in a marathon setting. Whoa. Slow down a little bit there. If I hadn't, then the monkey might have fallen into the pits, which, if that happens, I have to restart this mission, because there's no way to get them out of the pit. It's really annoying, actually. I've lost runs to it before. Third monkey's right there. He's pretty simple to get easily. And the fourth one is back behind the police station, prison place. So I'm actually just going to jump back there and attack him from a direction where he can't really escape into the manhole. If they reach a manhole, then they'll teleport to a different location in the city, which can be pretty frustrating. Ooh, that was weird ones. If I approach from the back over here, he cannot escape. Lovely. Gotta kind of hope a car hits me up here. There we go. Give a little bit of time if I could hit up earlier. Okay, so now we're going for another big skip. It skips 5 monkey ball stages. And I think this is probably the only game that has this property. Streetlights are bouncy. And that lets us do this skip. So we're gonna fall over here to this streetlight, and we're gonna bounce off of it and bounce off of this one to get up here. We're going to bounce on this one again. We bounce off of this one to land up here. And then we're just going to use this streetlight right here to curl around right over to the loading zone behind the stages. Lovely. So that saves probably a couple minutes just skipping those 5 stages, because it's the beginning of Expert, and Expert's long. Alright, so now we're in the highway section. We're going to learn Speedy Ball, which is a lot less useful in a speedrun than you'd think. Our first mission here is a big race around the highway with this gang leader. So we're going to turn on Speedy Ball here. And we have to do 3 laps around the highway. It's very long and tedious. The only thing worth mentioning is I'm getting this banana punch. It's pretty cool. And then this is pretty much just a 3-minute, I don't know why I said 3-minute, 3-lap. Not 3 minutes. It's a 3-lap race. Very boring, just move well and you're good. So I should mention what's going on in Monketropolis right now. I have to do specific missions to get myself up to the rank of Chief of Police, which sounds very strange, because it is. Basically, to get to Congrilla, the game's gonna check, okay, is he Chief of Police? Okay, good, he can go on. So this mission's actually required, unfortunately, which is annoying. I mean, it'd be in this category anyway, but it's required for 80% too. Unfortunate. Alright, so that's our second lap. Just one more lap around this thing. And then we're going to do a skip for the next mission here. Which, the next mission is a very long labyrinth of pipes. They use sticky ball to get around. Dude, let me do. Thank you. But we can actually skip straight to the end of it using a bit of sticky ball abuse and just interesting design choices. For some reason, the game designers decided to put the end of the mission right next to the start, and we can actually jump straight from the beginning to the end. So, right over here in the factory. Guys, right over here. We use sticky ball. After you talk to a person, there's a bit of a delay before you can chant again, so that's why I use chants before I talk to people. So I'm just going to climb up here. I'm going to stop about over here by this banana. I'm just going to fall off, and I'm going to land on this platform. I can use sticky ball again, and I can just roll off this edge, and I'll land on this thing you can turn. And then I can just spin this and go straight to the trigger for the mission to end, which is a lot faster than climbing around a bunch of pipes. Fun fact. And then we're off to Congrilla already. Also, I should mention, there was a recent reroute in Monketropolis, so My golds aren't quite optimized here yet in a couple of these areas, but that was a good time. This area pretty much just serves as the check for, hey, did you do the thing? Become Chief of Police. We have to bring a pass to a door that will open if we are Chief of Police. And I actually left a mission in the highway there, you may have noticed. The letter mission. We're gonna be going back there later for another mission anyway, so I leave it there because I'm gonna warp away from there. Alright, so that's that boring area. Now the entrance of Congrilla is one of the probably most difficult areas of the game to play optimally. It has 3 missions that are pretty iffy, I should say. So starting off, we need to launch some robots to Congrilla to steal bananas for Muckatropolis. And why we're doing that is because Congrilla tied down the sun. Because they wanted control of the sun, I guess. And for some reason that did not give me nearly as much height as I put into the cannon shot, but whatever. But yeah, we have to launch to all these islands with blue flames. And every little adjustment here matters. Like, see, I barely adjusted there and it's going to make it to this island fine. So I have visual cues for these pretty much, and it's very finicky, so I want to be very careful. Luckily, if I do realize I'm aiming a bit too high or low or something, I can detonate the robot early, which will save a bit of time if we're just waiting for it to crash naturally. Okay, that should be good. It's, like I said, not lenient whatsoever. Except for the last island's actually kind of lenient, because there's the bridge that'll just kind of bump your robot up to the top if you don't make it high enough. Which probably isn't by design, but I approve anyway. There should work. And that's not going to make it, unfortunately. Oh my goodness, wow. Oh my goodness, wow. This is a disaster. There's where destroying your robots really comes in handy. I thought I was much more to the side than I was. There we go though. So now we can launch over to Congrilla and get the most broken chant in the game, Hoverball. So, what is Hoverball, you may ask? It's a chant that lets you hover. And it may not seem too broken, but you can also jump. And jumping while you're hovering gets you a lot of height. Especially in certain areas. So, first off, we're going to do a mission here. We have to destroy those robots we just launched, because we're helping Congrilla now for their joy points. We just kind of take the best of both sides. I'm going to try to use Hoverball here in such a position that I will hit this robot before the chant guy talks. Unfortunately, I did not get it there, so I got to hit this robot again. There we go. Grab this banana punch pretty fast. These robots are awful. They will react to your existence and adjust sometimes, which can make you miss, and they are only over the island for certain areas. So, like, right there, I missed that. And this one's probably much annoying because he has a very long path. He's barely ever over the island. And sometimes you can just hit the robots and they won't be destroyed, which is the most frustrating thing in this mission. Hopefully it won't happen here. Hello. Goodbye. Also, yeah, I'm getting a lot of bananas here. Congrilla has a ton of bananas because they stole all the bananas with the sun. This is our last robot. He dead. So now we need to water these banana trees because they're too close to the sun, so they're getting wilty. And this mission is very finicky because, remember from earlier, the top of the balloon has to be close to the thing you're delivering it to. Well, the part of the trees that respond to the water is the bottom. So we have to get the top of the balloon close to the bottom of the trees, which is convenient for a lot of them because we don't have to jump on the islands, but this one, the tree is very close to the middle of the island, so I have to, like, specifically set up a jump there so it goes fast. Luckily, it cooperated very nicely there. Usually shouldn't take more than, like, 2 or 3 attempts, though, if I'm good. Then the rest of these are just free. They're right on the edge, so I can just jump next to the island and they'll go no problem. And after this mission, I'm going to be doing one last mission in this area. We're off to enter the main area of Congrilla. So that's going to be a mission where we are turning away the sound towers that Monketropolis built to elevate the sound levels here from the noise factory. You hear those cymbal crashes and stuff. Very annoying for Congrilla. They have to wear the masks to protect themselves even in their own home, which is awful. So we're just going to turn them real quick by flying into them. And conveniently, all of the sound towers just make you fly again, so we don't have to worry about falling out or anything. We'll fly right up into it, and immediately fly again. We're just going to make a big circle and then fly to the next loading zone. Pretty self-explanatory. So going into the main areas of Congrilla, they're very interesting areas, especially the first one. The first area of Congrilla is actually fairly difficult. Also, I'm going to grab one more banana bunch here just because it's right there. I'm just going to stop right there, land right next to the loading zone, and we're good. Alright, so first we're going to kill a couple naysayers down here, including the only fire naysayer we're actually going to kill, which is kind of funny. First we have a scalar ball naysayer. And there are also a ton of bananas in these areas. There's right here. There are 3 naysayers in this area, which makes it pretty annoying. Also, you have to use hoverball to get around here, so we're using that a lot. Congrilla has a lot of hoverball, but nothing's really broken in it because they expect you to have it here. Yeah. Alright. So actually killing these guys, basically they light you on fire, you wait for them to shoot twice, and then you just kind of hit them, and they will just kind of spin around for like a year, and then you can hit them again whenever they do it again. I can't really do anything interesting during this time, because I'd have to chant again and that would waste time. Wait for him to hit again. It's usually right after I run out of fire, yeah. Alright. And I'm gonna wait and make sure he actually catches on fire, because I've had it happen before that a naysayer didn't catch on fire and didn't die, and so I never got the joy points, and then I completed a run at 99% and was very upset because it was a PB hit. Alright, so now probably the hardest mission in this area to do well. Realigning these mirrors. There are 7 mirrors on one side and 5 mirrors on the other. And also, I want to get 30 bananas from the bunches down the middle. So, I'm going to try to hit in groups of 2 here so I can just kind of bounce between them kind of quickly. Oh, turn around, buddy. Alright, this is number 4, I think. Number 4. And the last 2, and then I'm going to try to go for the bananas on one swoop. And up with that one, maybe. Very nice. Now I just gotta hit these last 5 mirrors here. It's up here. Right at the last couple in pairs so I can bounce between them and fall quickly. I'll say I use Scalar Ball to reposition yourself, obviously. And something kind of annoying about this mission, I need to make absolutely sure that I land on the fan when I go down. Because if you don't land on the fan, then sometimes the fan just won't turn off, which makes this next mission awful. Not impossible, but awful. This is our other tetherball mission. We need to round up these crabs and bring them to this pipe. No, that's 2. Yeah, if the fan's off here, it's extremely difficult to carry these crabs to the pipe. Also, I should mention, if you carry a crab over the fan itself, you will drop the crab, so I need to make sure I don't do that. Also notice how slowly I'm going because I have tetherball on. It's really annoying. And then after this, I'm just going to take out the last naysayer in this area, and then I will deliver a message balloon to the guy who had the crab problem. And there we go, that's all the crabs done. And the naysayer's right over here, it's just a boxing there. Same as earlier, gotta wait for him to make himself vulnerable. Also, I just realized, I guess these are the only naysayers in all of Munkatropolis / Congrilla, so that's kind of interesting. And then he's gonna end the time, and off to the message guy who is on this little island over here. I don't know how he plans on getting off of it. Really fine though. We're just gonna kinda fly over. And he doesn't actually move like the rest of the message balloon people do. We can just go like that. Definitely not supposed to do that, but whatever. Oh, that was a gold apparently. Very good. Now let's see here. This is where I'm going to get a lot of backup bananas if I do have too few. So I'll go ahead and check my counts. No, I'm actually fine. I don't need to get any backups. So we have our last camera mission of the run right here, which is very short. I'm gonna use Mac to boost up right here. And we're just gonna boost right here. I'm actually gonna jump around and grab a few extra bananas just because they're on the path back to Mac. Bunch right here. And there's a bunch right here. And right there. Oh, the camera screwed me over there. And Mac's right here. Right. And our last mission for this area, which will put us right over 60 joy points, which is the minimum we need, is to patch this pipe, which has a weird wind flowing through it. I don't know what it's supposed to be. But we need to turn off that wind to actually patch it. It'll turn back on after a little bit, and the patches we put on will come off, which is very bad. I really want to avoid that. Did that go on? No, it didn't. The patches also just don't go on sometimes. Great. Here's number 3. Number 4 is right here at the end. Hopefully I'll make it in time. One not working can be a bit of a pain. And there we go. Now we're off to the ending of Munkatropolis / Congrilla here. Which, there's a guy standing on top of a monkey ball stage. Because we have 60 joy points, he'll walk off. Like, that's the only thing preventing us from doing it earlier, which is kind of funny. So, doing this last monkey ball stage will reunite Munkatropolis and Congrilla. And then we will go back into the highway section with Hoverball, and also with another mission available.
Ready?
This is Slipknot, final stage of Expert. We skipped the rest of Expert because it's overrated. I'm going to bounce an extra time here just to make sure I can get these 10 bananas here at the bottom. And then it's back to the highway. We're going to be doing 3 more missions. Bye. Cycle's going to be pretty annoying. Alright, so earlier we left out a message balloon in the highway area. And that's for 2 reasons. First of all, we can actually fall down from where we deliver the message to one of our later missions here. And second of all, we can speed this mission up just a little bit with Hoverball. A few seconds, so barely anything. But it's really cool. So basically, we're delivering it to the factory worker, but he is relocated to the top of the factory because that's a convenient place to hang out, I guess. So we're gonna climb up a little bit. It's about like halfway through the regular path of this mission, of like the other mission. I'm gonna stop right here, and I'm gonna turn on Hoverball. I'm just gonna hover along this pipe, which is faster than using Sticky Ball. I'm gonna jump around and skip a loop. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna turn back on Sticky Ball. Oop. Sticky Ball, I said, not Hoverball. I'm gonna use the momentum to land back on this pipe, and this is conveniently the pipe that takes you right to the top of the factory. What convenient design. Alright, so the guy is right up here on this ledge. We're gonna turn on Speedy Ball for, I think, the last time actually. It's really not that useful. And I'm going to come back over here and I'm just gonna run off the edge. I will land right on the road with a bonk off of that part of the factory, because why not? It's for style. And our next mission's right over here. Saves some running around the road to do it like that. Alright, so we have to destroy these robots that they're about to launch to untie the sun. Because I think they said it would, like, destroy the sun or something. Did that hit yet? I'm actually going to go backwards here because it's faster to go backwards to get to their set of robots than to go forward. Which is really spooky because going backwards on the road is scary because if you get hit you can die. And then you have to restart everything. And that's just bad. If I stay in the center though, that shouldn't be too much of a threat. So right here I'm going to turn around, and here are the robots. And I actually just hit all of them in one fell swoop, that was really good. And I'm going to go back and do the trash mission in this area. Because doing this last, I can warp over to somewhere else and then come back here later, and then I won't have to worry about this mission. Or I won't have to go back along the road here. Usually I have to travel along this road back to the factory, and that would take a long time. So, we're using Sticky Ball here. A lot of the tech in this mission is basically just run and hope you get hit by a car, as cars make you go faster. Also, do not forget this piece of litter. It's hiding, but we got it. It can't hide from us. Got a bit of a boost from that guy. Didn't quite react in time though. Oh, boost me! It's a bit finicky. The annoying thing about dealing with a litter is that sometimes the litter will be in the path of a car. You would hit by a car, which would be like, great, I get to be boosted by a car and get the litter. But then you just will go over the litter without grabbing it because you barely miss it, and that just isn't. Two more pieces of litter, one's right over here, and then one's right next to the place where we started. I saved this one for last so I can use Speedy Ball a bit longer. And now I'm going to warp back to Moonhaven. We saved a lot of stuff in Moonhaven for later because it's faster with Hoverball. Starting with, in the first area, a mission involving oil balloons. You're supposed to use Scalar Ball and ride along some rails, which that takes a very long time. But with Hoverball, we can just jump around and skip all of the rails. So we're going to just immediately drop down, try to bounce right there so we can get right into the gear. Lovely. And the guy's right up here. Alright, here we go. This is kind of intense. I need to focus a little bit. First one, we're going to jump on this part of the rail. Oh, I missed it. Alright, so, back up for that, I'll get the one you usually get last. There we go. That one, you just kind of get it on the gear. They just kind of put it really close to the gear for some reason, so... Right, there we go. That's how you get that one quickly. Actually, there's another strat for it, but it's a bit riskier, and I don't want to do it. Not in a run like this anyway. For a third balloon, it's just going to be right off the start here. I'm going to try to land kind of on this rail. I got caught. Get out. No, that's unfortunate. There we go. That can happen, unfortunately. You just kind of get stuck and you can't really get out. You can skip riding the gear back up. If you get caught, it's pretty difficult to escape. So I just went with it and did that. Last one's right here. I am not used to ending this mission here, so I'm just going to wait and make sure it actually ends. I lost a little bit of time there, but it's all good. Now we're going to finally do the water automaton. The only area in the game we never entered. That was weird. We're good though. Alright, so we saved this for later because we can skip a lot of the... There's a mission here where you're basically using wood ball to bring fires up and thaw out some parts of the water automaton. But we can just fly and skip some of those. So, it's fast. So, Hoverball it is. A few banana bunches. And right down here. We're going to immediately use Hoverball instead of Wood Ball. We're going to jump straight to the first thing we have to thaw out. Which we do have to use Wood Ball to thaw these things, of course, because we can't just thaw them out otherwise. Nope. Actually did poo into the blue there. Really easy to just kind of zoom out for a second and chant the wrong thing. Really kind of frustrating. What? Hello? What is not thawed? Weird. Wow, this thing is being relentless. What the heck? Use that stuff? Oh my goodness, this is really annoying. Alright, I'm just going to come up here and make sure I have enough speed to make it over, and there we go. That lost a lot of time, holy cow. And now I'm going to use Hoverball to jump over to this area. I'm going to very carefully land here so I don't fall out. And I'm going to spin all of these bridges at once instead of going in and out of Woodball to do it, because I can just do it all at one trip backwards, perfectly safe, instead of doing that. And it saves a decent chunk of time, because every time you chant it takes about 2 seconds, which is... that adds up. Don't want to chant too much. Alright, so now we're just gonna go ahead and just take a straight shot right up to the next thing we thaw out, which hopefully will not be as awful as the first one. And the last one. There we go. And we just gotta turn this last one over just a little bit to get to the, here. Go. There we go, that one actually cooperated. I missed like the worst possible chunk on that first one. And we can't really speed up this part, unfortunately. We're just gonna have to wait for the ice to spawn in so we can roll across it. And then the other mission in this area is pretty much an auto-scroller. We have to make sure these torches that aren't lit yet stay lit for a minute. All these weird things just kind of fly at them and put them out. Come on. Ugh. If you don't pace yourself just right on these, you're not gonna thaw it all at once. Oh my goodness, this is awful. Dreadful. Thank you. Alright, here we go. Last mission of Moonhaven right here. Our first kingdom to finish off entirely. This is really just an auto-scroller, unfortunately. Just go let the timer run out. And if I get really bad luck, then all 3 torches will be hit at around the same time, in which case I really can't do anything, I'll just have to restart the mission. That is extremely rare. That being said, it's happened to me one time. So, this goes to show I have terrible luck. I'm gonna stay a bit longer than I really have to, just to make absolutely sure nothing goes wrong here. Alright, now we're gonna finish off Megatropolis. So we saved exactly one mission here. It's a mission in the city that you can't do before you complete the 80% portion of the city. It's also just like the top hat mission from earlier. We're just gonna be knocking hats off of, or the masks off of the monkeys to prove, hey, these aren't monsters. Very small thing here. If I roll over to this side and just floor it, I can make it right up the ramp instead of taking the stairs. It's kind of funny. I really like it. We got this guy right here. We're gonna fall off this side over here to go to the back right corner of the city, where this guy's hanging out. Again, it's very important I don't hit any of these guys too fast. Because if I hit them too fast, they're going to fall flat and I'll have to wait for them to get back up, which wastes like 10 seconds. Oh boy, this guy's gonna be a pain. There he goes. This guy right here in front of the stairs, and the last guy is just hanging out in the corner. Another guy who doesn't think it's worth talking to a monster. Dude, seriously? Oh my goodness. This is about as badly as this mission can ever go. Wow, that was really bad. Alright, now we're gonna go back to Jungle Island. Okay, we're not actually gonna finish it yet. There's just there's one mission that's really out of the way, unfortunately. We can't do it on our first trip to Jungle Island because we need Woodball. But We have Woodball now, so we're going to make an entire trip to Jungle Island just for the one mission. It is all the way on the Lighthouse Island, so very far away. I'm going to use Woodball, or Speedball here. I think it's a bit faster maybe, I'm not entirely sure. Never actually timed it. If anything, it's a very small difference. So, Hoverball lets us skip over those rocks really quickly. You're supposed to use Boxing Ball to break them, but that's slower than Hoverball, so we're not going to do that. The last mission here is pretty much, we need to light a lighthouse. It went out earlier, and it's a lighthouse that's bad. So I'm going to use Hoverball real quick to get to the ramp quickly. I'm going to jump over this wall, and go to the top of the ramp so I have a bunch of speed. I'm just going to hold down as I fly down this ramp. And don't really get too much speed there, unfortunately. We're just going to fly all the way over to the guy. You can actually skip the entire island like this too, but that guy wanted his lunch, so we had to go there first. Just hang out on this island over here. Oop. Oop. There we go. Ants are annoying sometimes. So we just need to keep ourselves lit as when we get all the way to the top. We're going to take the actual cannon again to skip right up to the top again. Save some time climbing all the way around the island like we did earlier. That's way over here. And we are good. And light this bowl to make absolutely sure we're safe. And then some of these things on the lighthouse itself, you let on fire to increase your timer. And there are just 3 torches at the top we gotta light. And then we're going back to Zootopia to finish it. There we go. Alright, now, in Zootopia, we're gonna do 3 of the missions that are in the entrance here. One of them is not possible until you have Hoverball, and the other 2 you can do earlier, but it's just faster routing-wise for one, and faster because we can use Hoverball for the other one. Alright, so we're going to learn this chant right here. We're supposed to learn this a lot earlier. It's invisible. We'll use it during the mission Magician. But now we're going to help out Hoda Pow, who I guess would be really joyed to see someone who can be strong. And we're also going to cheat to do it because we're bad monkeys. We get to the top, use Scalar Ball, get big, and fall into the button. Simple as that. Alright, so this next mission here is kind of an auto-scroller. There's a really cool small optimization you can do. So we have to wait for this guy, the magician, to give us instructions, and then we're going to do our chants to make people think he's a good magician. So when he starts this next text box, I'm going to go ahead and use Invisible here, so that I skip the text box actually, which is very convenient. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do the mission as normally. It just skips that one really long text box. Other than that, this is pretty much an auto-scroller. I just have to use Woodball and Hoverball. Oop. I just did something stupid, and it's going to start over that text box now. Hello? I've never seen this before. Okay, he glitched. Awesome. So, we're gonna have to start that trick over. That's an annoying time loss. I just accidentally hit the A button, and it cost me that time. Sad. And here's why we can't do this mission before Monketropolis. We have to use Hoverball, because that's convenient. I guess it makes sense for Magician, though. So after this, we're gonna have an actual skip. Make sure I time these right. I can only do the things whenever his wand sparkles, for reference. So this next thing we're gonna do is the Dunking Booths mission, which is the mission that's mainly invisible based. However, it takes like around a minute or so, which is really long. But we're going to turn invisible to start out here. We're going to let this guy pass a little bit so we can go around him. Now how invisible works is if you bump 3 things, you're going to be noticed. I'm just gonna really quickly hover up here. Oh my god! Kill me. That was unfortunate. Okay, we failed because this game is stupid. Annoying. That's extremely annoying. But, as I was saying, we're just gonna turn invisible, and then we're gonna get to a certain point, and we're going to use Hoverball. We're gonna jump up these two things, and then if we turn back invisible before his HA message disappears and the next one appears, then he's not going to say the mission is over. So we are in the clear. That's a really frustrating boss thing. Come on, say the mission's over. Okay, thank you. Thought it wasn't going to give it to me for a second. That would have been really unfortunate. Alright, so now we're going back to the maze to finish that off. Remember earlier, we left a lot of the maze for the end of the run. So, we're going to start out by doing one of the longest missions in the game. It saves literal minutes to do this mission with Hoverball. It is the mission of Alowatts, who wants us to bring him 8 balloons. And you can only carry 1 balloon at a time, and they're scattered all throughout the maze. Oh, we deal with this naysayer while we're fighting him. While we're doing it anyway. First I'm just gonna go ahead and wait for him to try to punch me. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Alowatts. Punch the naysayer one more time. And then while he's recoiling from that, I'm gonna go ahead and go this. And then eventually he's gonna go ahead and punch again. And he's dead. And now I'm just gonna go into Hoverwall for the rest of this mission. First thing I'm gonna do, there's a balloon inside of the bumper cars area. Awesome. And then I'm just gonna pretty much just jump over the walls of the maze everywhere, where it's fastest to get over here. And then next one is gonna be right here. You can grab it from on top of the bridge there, just barely. So you gotta be pretty close. Alright, so I'm just gonna jump really far, bumping off a wall, because that's slow, and that's what this one is now. Oh, I didn't before. Small time loss, no big deal then. Alright. Next one, I'll go and get the tightrope, I guess. I'm just gonna jump off right about here, and then go right here to where the camera mission ended. Like that. Get a bunch of bananas. Well, I mean 2 bunches of bananas on the... Come back up again. And I'll go ahead and get someone on a tree. I'll start that naysayer spinning before I start it, so I can just immediately hit him like that. Alright, there's the 5th banana. Balloon. I'll go ahead and grab the balloon right over here. 6. You can jump over the wall right there, just barely if you time your A press correctly. And number 7. I'll go ahead and make it the one over here. The order doesn't matter, so I just kind of decide as I go every time. Right back up here. And number 8 is going to be really far away. It's way up here in this corner of the maze. You can grab it just like this, and there's also a banana bunch you can get this. And that's all for that mission. We'll go ahead and jump over this wall to the next mission while we're waiting. He just flew away, he's fine. Trust me. Alright, this is our last message delivery of the run. Just gonna use Hoverball to skip right over to where we need to deliver it, which is close to where that last balloon was actually. And then the last mission of Zootopia is a litter mission, which takes absolutely forever. Luckily, we can skip over to where we are getting our first banana peel with Hoverball instead of just running around. Yeah, we can't get out of Sticky Ball at any point during this mission, or else I'll have to restart the whole mission, so makes this mission pretty long. Definitely not any percent. We literally have to go through the entire maze for this. One right here. There's one inside of the bumper cars area, which is great. Way in the back as well, which makes it even better. Also, the bumper cars are perfectly in the arena now, just stopped. They, I guess they just moved them back after we left. One's really easy to forget, right over here. I've lost a lot of time before forgetting that banana peel. We got a while before we get to the next one. We're gonna jump off of the bridge at the start here to land next to it. Gotta kind of wind up our speed though, because Sticky Ball is extraordinarily slow. Also note, I do have enough bananas for the rest of the game now. Got enough. And we're just gonna kind of backtrack up to him now, grabbing a few more banana peels along the way to go to him. One right over here. And one at the dead end at the end of this path. And the last couple are pretty much directly in the path. One right here. Unfortunately, this unicyclist is kind of in the way. Rude. And there we go, Zootopia is done. Now we're going off to Jungle Island for the last time to finish the game. Huzzah. So Jungle Island, we pretty much just have one more normal mission, and then delivering bananas, and then the final mission of the game. So, starting out with our last regular mission, which is one we didn't do earlier because you can't do it until you have Boxing Ball, and we didn't have Boxing Ball on our first trip here. We have to destroy the weeds in the wells by destroying their little stump things with Boxing Ball. And the balls will recede into the ground if we're near them for too long without destroying them, so I gotta be pretty fast here. Outside of just wanting to be fast because it's a speedrun. Also, their hitboxes remain there for a bit after you defeat them, which is annoying, to the least. Oh, come on. This one usually isn't a problem. Alright. Go ahead and turn off the chant here because I'm going to have to bounce on flowers anyway, so I'm going to lose the chant no matter what. Come on. Get up here. Oh my goodness. Alright, one right here. This one's always a problem. It's just in a really inconvenient space for trying this speedrun. Right. Here. Turn off Boxing Ball here so I can get enough speed to make this gap. You can make the gap without turning off Boxing Ball, but it's a lot tighter. And the last one's right there. So wait for the mission to end, and then we're good to go to the next area. Alright, so this area we're going to kill our last Naysayer, and then talk to Mac Mac, give him some bananas. And then it's off to the palace for the ending. After this loading screen, of course. Now I'm going to go right in front of this Naysayer, and I'm going to use Hoverball to get around it. I can go ahead and talk to this guy with Hoverball already activated. He tells you about playing Monkey Ball stages, which I definitely didn't know about at this point in the run. And I can just kind of skip this Monkey Ball stage just by hovering over this wall. And there we go, that's all the bananas donated. 92 joy points is indeed all of them we can have so far. All of them but the ending. And here we go, after I bonk on this wall and lose some time. Last split of the run. So, there's actually a skip in this last area. You're supposed to climb up this tree using Sticky Ball. There are 3 portions. We're going to use Sticky Ball for one of them. For the other 2, we're going to use Hoverball. Because Hoverball will hover you over pretty steep slopes as long as you're above them. Right here, I can just hover right along that. And this one, I have not been able to find a way to avoid using Sticky Ball, unfortunately, so we should climb up like this. It's not quite steep enough, you can use Hoverball. And then the last one, bit sketchy, but I can climb up this and just kind of jump over the fence here. Alright, here we go. Final mission. It's basically a game of Simon here. We're gonna have 3 rounds, and it ends on the last one, of course, as soon as we hit the middle button on the 3rd one. And that's when timing is. When out of time ends for the run. So, yeah, this is Summer Home to Story Mode 100%. Thank you for watching. This one was actually decent-ish. Would have been a lot better if I hadn't screwed up the stuff in the 3rd trip to Zootopia, but it's all good. Still a really good run overall. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, time. 125.30, not bad at all. Alright, so we can see here the ending. All the monkeys just kind of hanging out. One cutscene. And then the proof we have 100% right here. If we get this happening and the cutscene, let's go play it right now. There we go. And then 100% complete. So, thank you for watching. Hope you'll consider me for being in the marathon. A lot of fun with this. So, thank you.